Welcome back inside tonight's Time Warner Cable Sports telecast. The Binghamton Senators taking on the Adirondack Phantoms. Grady Whittenburg with you. Very pleased to be joined by the head coach of the Philadelphia Flyers and a member of the Binghamton Hockey Hall of Fame, Peter Laviolette. And Coach, welcome to tonight's broadcast. And kind of wondering why we wanted to come down and talk with you, and really kind of the 75th anniversary season of the AHL. And the league has come such a long ways. And with that, you've certainly come up through the coaching ranks. It's kind of amazing looking back at your career, playing in the American Hockey League, a couple of seasons in Binghamton, eventually with the Boston Bruins organization, and from there retiring, going into coaching the very next year. Talk about that quick transition from off the ice to behind the bench.
Yeah, well, I've been really fortunate with my career. You know, I never thought I'd play pro hockey. Not one day. I went to college at a Division III school and got a degree in business management, and ended up carving out 11 years in the minors with a couple years in Binghamton and here and there and moving around. I remember Bobby Francis asking me if I wanted to be a player assistant coach and if I had a passion for coaching, and my response was I have no idea. And I got into coaching, I loved it, and worked with him for 1 year, and I ended up going to Wheeling the next year to become head coach in the East Coast Hockey League, and that's really where I took my first job and started my career. So you know, it wasn't really planned out, it wasn't mapped out, and it did turn quick from deciding that I wasn't going to play anymore, because I was, I think, 29, 30 years old, and probably could have played a few more years in the minors, and making that decision to start coaching.
Well, I think it was an amazing decision as well. You talk about not really giving it much thought, but you go in your first year in Wheeling, go all the way to the third round of the playoffs before losing, so it seemed to agree with you.
Yeah, we had that was a great year for me. My wife and I were newly married, and we packed up our U-Haul and left Massachusetts, and really started our adventure on coaching and life and moving around. And we had a terrific ownership group there, and they had just purchased the team, and they didn't have any players, and you really got to build your team and make trades and put something together. We built a close family and a close-knit group, and it was a really good year. We started a little bit slow and worked our way into it, and by the end of the year we're playing really strong. We lost to the team that ended up winning it all in a real tough semifinal match, and it was a great first year, great learning experience, and I'll always look back with that. With just my year in the East Coast Hockey League is a tremendous, how lucky I was to be there. A tremendous opportunity that I was given to be able to try and take advantage of that, and that's where things started.
Your early 30s, that's quite amazing, and the success you talk about having there your first year. I think it was 2, maybe 3 years later, you find yourself coaching the American Hockey League, go all the way to the finals. You win a championship against the Rochester Americans.
Yeah, that was fun. It was the next year. I coached in Wheeling for 1 year, and that's where I started as a player assistant coach, was in Providence in the American Hockey League, and my hometown is from there, my wife's hometown, so it was nice to be local. We went to Wheeling for the year, and the opportunity came where it opened back up to be the head coach in Providence. I interviewed and got that job, and it was that next year that we turned things around there in 1 year and ended up winning a championship. The next year we got back to the semifinals, but that 1 year was where we beat Rochester for the Calder Cup. Was just a great year where we built something and had great players that really bought into what we were doing, and Providence was a great city to do it in. So it was just it was one of those neat things you look back on. Championships are hard to come by, and to do it in Providence, near my hometown, where my parents got to be a part of it, and my family, my wife. I have a kid that was, one of my sons is born in Rhode Island, so it was a special time.
From advancing from the ECHL to the AHL, then on to the NHL, certainly you were starting, I thought the firing down on Long Island was a bit strange, because you were starting to turn that franchise around, but things just didn't work out. But you landed with Raleigh and the Carolina Hurricanes, and boy, non-traditional hockey market, but it's known for college football, college basketball, but boy, did they ever get behind the team in that year that you guys had in 05-06.
Yeah, it was a great year. I mean, it was really not predicted. I remember reading the Sports Illustrated. They had us picked up to finish 29th, and they really weren't sold that we weren't the 30th team. So that at the end of it, they said, they're 29th, but feel free to put them 30th. And we had ended the year when I got hired the year before, halfway through the year, and when we ended the year, there was a real belief that we were going to win some hockey games the way we were playing. We got locked out for a long time there. I think we were out of hockey for almost 16 months or whatever it was, and we didn't play any hockey. So when we came back, we added a couple pieces to our team from where we were before the lockout, and we started winning hockey games right away. and we won a lot of them. We just missed winning the Eastern Conference by 1 point. We got into the playoffs, and there's a lot of things that have to go right in order to be successful to win a championship, and they went right for us that year. The players were terrific. We've got good goaltending, we got good players, we got veteran leadership, and we were able to just keep marching through the playoffs. We got to the finals and ended up beating Edmonton in Game 7 at home. So winning a championship is always special, but when you can do it in a Game 7 on your home ice, it really it's hard to word up exactly what it feels like, because it's one of those moments in life. You can't buy it, you can't go get. You actually have to invest the time and give your all and put yourself out there in order to reach that goal. And when you do, the experience is just incredible.
Well, Coach, a couple seasons spent in Binghamton playing with the Rangers, and this being the 75th anniversary season of the AHL. Talk about your time back there and what you do recall. It was a little bit a while ago, but certainly getting your feet wet in the professional side of things.
Yeah. I remember going in there. I had a tough year the year before, and John Paddock, who's actually with the Flyers organization here, was the head coach. And it was an opportunity for me to almost start fresh. And I went in there with a really good attitude and talked to him about that. Really enjoyed my time playing there. We had a good team. We had a tough team. There were some tough characters on our team back then. But that year for me kind of turned my minor league career around, my first year in Binghamton under John Paddock. And I just remember going in there and enjoying we had great ownership. Bob Carr, Tom Mitchell, Jim McCoy were the owners of the team, and they were just fantastic with the team. We had a good coach, and we had a good team, good players. We won a lot of hockey games, and it was a good place to go for me at the time. And leaving a tough year behind in Flint, coming into Binghamton, getting to experience the fans and the Binghamton area. I really enjoyed my time there.
Brought up John Paddock. What made him such a good influence upon you? Obviously, it's a situation where he's the only coach to win a Calder Cup championship with 3 different clubs. Yeah. So he's got some pretty important accomplishments on his resume. But talk a little bit about the man. He's very quiet, very reserved. But what made the impact on you?
I think most importantly about John is that he's a smart man and he's an honest man. There's no games with him, and he wants people with character that work hard every day and going out on the ice. He's a good teacher. He's really smart when it comes to the game itself. And you're right, he's not a loud, vocal man, but he's got what he says. He has a lot of impact with what he says, and I really enjoyed playing with him. And you're right about his success. It seems like it follows him wherever he goes, and I think that's a credit to him. Because it's, like I said before, it's difficult to win. The winning is not an easy thing, and for him to be able to win championships in different places, his team knocked my team out of the playoffs in the minors. He was with Hartford coaching, and they went on and won a championship that year, and we wanted that championship. So he's a great coach, great person.
All right, Peter Laviolette, my intermission guest. We're going to take a timeout, and when we return, second period action from downtown Binghamton between the Senators and the Adirondack Phantoms here on Time Warner Cable Sports.